Hey guys, what's happening? So we are back for more Ultimates, where now the Hulk of Earth 6160 is ready to make good on his word, cause he wants to get rid of these guys for good, with a very up close and personal approach. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so coming back, we pick up with Tony Stark, Iron Lad, who 2 weeks prior to this cracked the Council's quantum encrypted internal communication system that's otherwise known as Overnet, and amongst the information he found in there, it led him to this place, a damage control black site holding over a dozen superpowered prisoners. So to break them out, he's now assembled the entire Ultimates network for the first time. And among all the Ultimates members who are here, we talked about how they all joined the team. Everyone except one person, and mainly because they joined in a story that happened outside of the main Ultimate series, back in Free Comic Book Day Ultimate Universe Spider-Man issue 1, where at the time we saw Iron Lad, Captain America, and Doom break into a damage control facility and free Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, who is the only Human Torch in this universe for the time being. And now, for the first time in this series, we see him here with the whole squad, which includes Hawkeye, Sif, Thor, Captain America, Wasp, She-Hulk, Giant Man, and America Chavez, which is almost the entire Ultimates network, because the only person who's not here with them is Doom, who we'll just say has a secret, but we'll talk more about what's going on with him in a little bit. But nonetheless, with everyone else here, Tony and Steve let them know. As soon as they go in, this place will likely be swarming with hand agents in just 5 minutes, and there may be a superpowered asset or two nearby, but nonetheless the plan is to go in, save these heroes, and get out, and make it quick, cause some of these prisoners may be near death. So Tony tells the team, no one dies today, not because of us. This is a rescue mission, as he blasts the door open and they go inside, with Tony saying, Ultimates, assemble, as he looks around like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like the inside of damage control. But as they make their way here, right in front of them, it's the Hulk, who says, at last, patience is a tree with bitter roots that bears sweet fruits. Will you join me for some tea? But as soon as the Ultimates get here, She-Hulk sees Banner. It's on sight. And for her, at a first glance, this might look like it's out of her character, just going by what we've seen from her so far in the series, because for the most part, she's shown to have control. But because this Banner has caused so much death and suffering to the people of her home for as long as she's known, she's been thinking about this opportunity for nearly her entire life. So she goes for it. But as it turns out, not only is this Hulk skilled in martial arts, but he's also the Iron Fist. And when he counters her attack with his atomic Iron Fist, it's rated at a level of 15 Hiroshimas. And when he does this, she goes flying. And right after that, the Hulk just goes and calmly sits back down while offering them tea once again. And every one of the Ultimates is just looking at him like, if he did that to her, what's he gonna do to me? And it's right here where we go back to Doom, where we find out that every last one of the Ultimates' signals have gone dark, as he gets an alert saying the Ultimates network is disconnected. And at this point, Captain America, he's telling everyone, we need to get out of here now, because he is not trying to do this all day. But when America Chavez tries to go for the door, it's gone, with nothing but a solid wall in its place, as a result of a bit of magic. So they're trapped. And when Tony asks the Hulk, where are we? He tells them, I rule all 7 of heaven's capital cities. What does that make me, do you suppose? Which is practically Hulk calling himself a god. So Tony tries to instill some confidence in the Ultimates by telling them not to be afraid of him. There's 10 of us and he's still just one man. And Hawkeye points it out like, yeah, one giant radioactive man. And the 10 against 1 thing, that doesn't last much longer either. Because not only did the Hulk set this whole thing up for the Ultimates to walk into his trap, but also these other fighters who he's brought with him. He's given them all his blood. And it makes for a situation where it's like, many of these guys were already dangerous before, but now in addition to that, they're all Hulks, who collectively are the immortal weapons of Hulk. And Giant Man says it best here, because he's like, these guys are nuclear powered martial arts monsters. So quickly, Cap tries to tell Thor to open the Bifrost and get them all out of there, but the immortal weapons, they attack before he even gets the chance, giving the Ultimates no other choice than to fight their way out. And I mean, the Ultimates, they've got a pretty decent roster, but against the Hulk and his immortal weapons, this matchup is more like grown people fighting children. And that's practically what the Hulk calls it too. And it's not just that, but it's like these guys have their own hulked out fighting style, with Banner dropping a thermonuclear Thunderfoot, and this other guy, Uranium Brother number 235, he's out here serving the fist of the Gamma Star, which sounds like a great name for an anime. I mean, I'd watch it. But this is nuts, cause it'd be one thing if these were a bunch of Hulks who were just strong, and I mean mindless Hulks, just smashing things and throwing them. But no, these guys have discipline and precision, which are two things that should be illegal for any Hulk to have, cause it makes them way more dangerous than if it was only strength. But also there's a moment here where Giant Man's like, you guys are supposed to be pacifists. Which right there just goes back to what we initially learned about the Hulk in Ultimate Invasion issue 2, where he was said to be the highest holy man, a testament to power and serenity, and the epitome of those who resist the seductive call of rage and revenge, only for us to get the further explanation later on of this being one of the many perceptions that the Maker's Council have used where they control the idea of who the public believes they each are, with some of the information being true, but collectively it's all orchestrated as a tool for the council to control the public. But nonetheless, with the Hulk's immortal weapons taking the fight to the Ultimates, out of everyone, Sif's probably the one who's doing the best, which for the most part is a lot of blocking. And I mean, she doesn't block everything, but she avoids most of these hits. And I imagine it's just a way of showing that she's the most versatile fighter out of all the Ultimates. And meanwhile, when we head over to Doom, who's trying to find the Ultimate signals, he comes up with nothing, even though his equipment should be able to find them anywhere in the universe. But when that doesn't work, it lets him know that they have to be outside of it, and that's precisely where he finds their network active. But he sees it showing up in Avalon, Asgard, and Hell. So for a moment here, he's like, communication between non-continuous space-time is difficult, but not impossible, as he successfully establishes the connection, which allows him to get a visual feed through Iron Lad's suit. And right away, he just sees the Ultimates getting wrecked. So immediately, Doom starts working on a solution to get them out of there, because it's looking really bad for these guys. And through the course of this, we also have the Hulk who's giving Tony this lecture about how him and the Ultimates, they're not heroes, because there's no such thing as heroes. And the Ultimates are more like children living out their power fantasies. And the Hulk compares this to himself, because he tells him what they've done. They've accomplished a miracle, where out of chaos they've made harmony, and the people love them for it, which is another thing that harkens back to the Maker's Council, and how they've controlled the public's perception of them. But next, one of the Hulk's immortal weapons, by the name of Fat Cobra, he catches Wasp and swallows her whole, which is just another moment where it's like, okay, this is not getting better. And right here, the Hulk tells Tony, as the worldwide symbol of peace, I've missed blood on my hands, as he just smashes through Tony's defenses with his 2x atomic Iron Fist attack, 32 Hiroshima level. And it's just like, man, this whole thing is just a bunch of mismatches. It's bad. But as the Ultimates are in heaven, getting baptized, Doom continues to work on his solution to get them back. And I want you guys to keep in mind, with Doom doing these calculations, he's planning to use the connected signal as a bridge, since Tony's Stark suit gives a precise location in high-dimensional space. And he's being ever so careful to account for every variable in his calculations. And what we'll find as this continues is how it all points back to what we saw in Ultimates issue 4, where because of his origin, he's developed an insane obsession for making sure his science is precise and without errors so he doesn't lose the people he cares about. And this goes even deeper into Doom's secret, which we'll learn more about as this series continues. But just keep in mind, in the here and now, that Tony told Doom the Immortus engine is off limits, which Tony mainly said because he doesn't want them to use time travel. But if Doom knows that he can find an answer, even with using some variables that are off limits, then Doom's gonna do what he believes he needs to do. And right now, back over with the Ultimates, we find the furious Hank Pym going after Fat Cobra to get revenge for Janet. But when Hank throws a punch, Fat Cobra just stops it, only to soon after feel something rumbling inside, just before Janet comes bursting out of him, which now lets us know that she's okay, physically at least. But back over with Doom, he's now come to the point where he's running out of time and he needs to get them out of there, because the signal strength is degrading and he only has 7 seconds before the signal's lost. At this point, he has no other choice but to use the Immortus engine to save them, even though this leaves him with 7,000 unknowns, where if he makes one mistake, everyone's dead. But at the same time, if he doesn't do something now, that just might be the case anyway, because when we go back to Hulk and Iron Lad, where at this point Iron Lad is just wrecked. But Hulk doesn't let up, cause next he puts him in the Gigaton Vice Grip, and he squeezes Tony until it's lights out. So it seeing the She-Hulk, she just dives in on top of Bruce, and she starts punching him like crazy. But he then catches her fist, and he splurches it. And I mean, like, that hand is gone. And he doesn't stop there, cause right after that, he prepares to deliver the killing blow. But at this point, with seconds winding down for Doom, he uses the Immortus engine to bring back the Ultimates, while saying now or never, life or death, all hope lies in Doom. And he's able to successfully get them all out of there. But with doing so, we find out that he's too late, because Iron Lad is dead. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.